Hey guys, welcome along and welcome to today's training titled The Alchemy of the Distinguished Entrepreneur. All about how to unleash your highest potential as an entrepreneur. So your business only gets better when you get better. So this is for business owners and entrepreneurs of all levels who are seeking new and better ways to achieve their maximum potential as an entrepreneur, striving to master the principles of business strategy and client acquisition, wanting to get out of their own way, release their brakes and overcome their limitations. Those who are looking to achieve more by working smart and not always just working hard with little to show for it. Those who are wanting to build a business and build an empire that offers them complete time and money freedom. This is a big one, guys. Way too many business owners become slaves to their own business, and in turn they become the bottleneck to their own growth. And those of you who are motivated to develop the personal skills, qualities, habits and traits of a distinguished entrepreneur. So we're going to cover three main points. Number one is business strategy. So building a business that thrives without everything depending on you. So systems, delegation and automation. How to maximize the return on investment on your time and your money by working smart instead of always just working hard. Then we're going to take a look at client acquisition. So converting people from complete strangers into paying customers consistently with predictability. So we're going to talk about all things marketing, advertising and sales. And then lastly, number three, which is the real game changer for all entrepreneurs, which is self-alchemy. So developing the skills, qualities, habits and characteristics of a distinguished entrepreneur. So we're going to talk all about mindset, attitude, self-image and so on. The goal here is to extract the maximum amount of value from this training as possible and walk away at the end with better insight, better information and a much clearer plan of how you can move forwards faster towards your goals as an entrepreneur. So there are no shortcuts to success in business, but there is absolutely a fast lane. And this comes down to having the right knowledge, the right information, the right guidance, the right support, the right mindset, the right work ethic and the right accountability. Having a high performance vehicle, aka your business, operated by a high performance person, aka you, is the key to success. Too many entrepreneurs are drunk behind the wheel of their own business. Success in business is 20% tactical and 80% mindset. So the tactical stuff is basically business strategy. This is your business model, your products, your services, your marketing, your sales, your systems, your staff, your advertising, and so on. The 80%, which is self-alchemy, are things like your mindset, your attitude, your habits, your self-esteem, your self-talk, your environment, your work ethic, emotional control, time management, organization, productivity, accountability, efficiency, focus, decision-making, delegation, relationships, network, mindfulness, knowledge, confidence, and so on. You get the idea. The success of a business is directly proportionate to the caliber of the entrepreneur. Now, the purpose of this training today, guys, is absolutely not to entertain you. The purpose of today's training is to achieve one thing and one thing only, and that is to help you become a better entrepreneur. This training is blunt, it's to the point, it's fast-paced, and it's jam-packed with value. A big part of developing the qualities of a distinguished entrepreneur is focus. If you do not have the attention span even to stick with this training video until the very end, well then you probably have bigger problems than you think. The self-alchemy section towards the end of today's training is what's really going to have the biggest impact on your life and your business, and it's really going to help you move forwards faster towards your goals. So make sure to stick around and take all of that in too. So just to give you a little bit more background and insight into my life. So I do not come from much. None of my family were entrepreneurs or business owners. I started out from the bottom as such with no money. Most people who knew me growing up would have said that I would never really be anything more than a broke musician playing music in bars at the weekends. But by applying the principles that I'm going to share with you in today's training, I was able to change all of that and create a really amazing life as an entrepreneur. Let's talk business strategy to start. So when I started out my online marketing agency as a one-man band operation, I was doing all of the work myself. I was stressed out. I was limited in my growth potential, especially financially. I had very little free time and I was overworked and underpaid. Some might say a busy fool. So maybe you can relate. Many entrepreneurs become slaves to their own business. They have very little time and financial freedom, and their business can end up being a major source of stress. Fast forward to today, I am now CEO of that same company and I employ other people to do the work. And it's now up to me how much time I choose to spend working on that company each week or each month, rather than having no option but to work in it all day, every day. So I've achieved this by developing systems and building teams to run and manage these systems. As a result, the entire business runs like a well-oiled machine. Again, guys, 80% of my success is down to self-alchemy, which I'm going to talk about shortly. So this now means that I can take a long vacation or not have to worry about the business falling apart while I'm gone. So whether you're a digital marketer, a bookkeeper, a web developer, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, a landscaper, restaurant owner, driving instructor, essentially any service-based business, these same principles apply. Systematizing your business. The transition from from business operator to business owner. So the goal is to build a business that has the ability to run and grow without you, to be able to remove yourself from all operations should you choose to do so, and to create a sellable asset should you ever choose to sell. Now, you may never want to stop working in your business as such, or you may never even consider selling your business, and that is completely fine. But by systematizing your business, it simply offers you a level of security and comfort knowing that if you fall ill or if you take a vacation, that your business does not completely fall apart. In fact, if you do this right, guys, your business will continue to grow and generate more profit whether you are there or not. The real beauty with systems is that you only really have to develop and implement them once, and then it's done forever for the most part. You simply then hire in great people to manage these great systems. The transition from business operator to business owner requires you to make many changes in both your skill set and your mindset. Here on the bottom left of the screen, we can see the famous Henry Ford, founder of the Ford Motor Company, who is known for implementing the production line, which was a key move in systematizing and simplifying all operations, resulting in more efficiency and better ability to scale with less resistance. Business operator versus business owner versus empire builder. So which one are you? As a business operator, every decision has to be made by you. You micromanage every aspect of your business. You're still on the tools as such. You're overworked, underpaid. Your business is a source of stress that fails to provide you with the fulfillment, time, and money freedom that you are seeking. Next up, we have the business owner. So the business continues to run and grow without you. Everything is systematized. You have great teams and great employees managing these great systems. You can take a long vacation without the business completely falling apart. And the business is a sellable asset if you ever choose to do so. And lastly, we have the empire builder. So instead of just focusing on internal growth, i.e. improving your sales, improving your products, your services, and your systems and so on, you pivot to external growth. So acquiring other businesses, acquiring other assets that are already systematized that you can add to your portfolio to essentially build and grow your empire. So up here on the right hand side, you can see my fantastic little works of art. We have the business owner stickman who is overworked, underpaid, spends all of his time working in his business, and his business really is more of a job that he runs rather than a business that he owns. Next down, we have the business owner stickman. As you can see, he is outside of the box and he has his team inside of the box running the company. So he is working on his business. He is happy, but he's not satisfied. He wants to create more wealth and more financial security by adding more legs to the table, which I'm going to speak about next. And at the bottom, we have the empire builder. So we can see that he has many different assets and businesses within his overall empire. He has complete ownership and control of multiple assets and multiple businesses, multiple streams of revenue, complete financial security, and complete time and money freedom. So let's talk about building multiple legs to the table. This is an analogy that I use to describe the importance of diversification in business to protect your wealth. So on the left hand side, we can see an example of a table which has just one leg. So in this case, you have just one revenue stream. High risk of losing it all and could potentially be wiped out overnight by an external factor such as a pandemic or a war or something completely outside of our control. On the right hand side, we can see an example of multiple legs to the table, multiple revenue streams and multiple cash flowing assets. And these different revenue streams might be different businesses that you own or that you have equity in. You might have real estate investments, you might own NFTs, you might do coaching, you might have stocks and shares. There's many different vehicles. So by having multiple legs to the table, it's low risk of losing it all. Even if one or more legs are wiped out completely overnight, you have other legs to the table which can support it, protecting your wealth, your income, and your lifestyle. So some people diversify within their current business. Some people diversify by investing in real estate, stocks, and crypto, and so on. Some people diversify by building multiple businesses, and some people do all of the above. So let's take a look at Hardworking Bob's company organization chart. So Hardworking Bob is the example of an extreme business operator. Now guys, this is all business basics 101. I am going to get into some more complex and valuable strategies as we get deeper into this training, but it is very surprising how many entrepreneurs and business owners tend to overlook the basics. So here we can see that Bob is the CEO of the company. He's also playing the role of general manager. He's managing all of the marketing, all of the sales, operations, all of the finance, admin, and customer service. And as you can see, within each of these sections within Bob's business, there are many different systems and processes and tasks that need to be ran and managed on a daily basis. If Bob gets injured, if Bob gets sick, or Bob wants to take a vacation, Bob's business completely falls apart. So Bob is playing every role within the business. He is micromanaging everything, working all day, every day, and you can bet that his bank account is not reflecting all of the hard work that Bob is putting in each day. He has very limited time to spend with his family or his friends, and he struggles to take time off. So now that we've seen Hardworking Bob's organizational chart, let's take a look at Smart Working Bob's organizational organizational chart. So here we can see that smart working Bob is an example of a smart business owner. So Bob is still the CEO of the company, but now he has hired in Tom as a general manager, and the only person who reports to Bob is Tom. In marketing, he has hired Elaine as their marketing manager, and they outsource all of their lead generation, their Google ads, their social media ads to an agency. You can see I have a sneaky plug for my own agency, SPM, in here. So if any of you guys do need some help and want to outsource all of that stuff to the experts, simply check out spmonlinemarketing.com. For sales, we can see that Tom is also the head of sales while playing the role of general manager. He has hired in a sales rep, Mark, and another sales assistant, Peter. For operations, he has Jack, Ed, and Rob. He has hired Mary as a bookkeeper. He has hired Sarah as the secretary and for customer support. So as you can see, Bob has learned to master the art of delegation. He has systematized his entire business to run and grow without him. Now Bob has more money, more time, and a better quality of life as a result of smart work. He has built systems within his business and hired great people to manage and run these systems, which continue to run and grow his business. 100% of Bob's time each day is now focused on revenue generating activities only. If Bob gets injured, if Bob gets sick, if he takes a vacation, Bob still gets paid and his business still continues to generate profit, whether he is there or not. RGAs versus non-RGAs. So RGA stands for revenue generating activity, and RGA is any activity that yields you a positive financial return on your time investment. Non-RGAs, or non-revenue generating activities, are any activity that does not yield you a positive financial return on your investment. On the right hand side here, we can see our task evaluation chart. So we have $10 tasks right up to $100 million tasks, all depending on the size of your business and the type of operation that you run. But as soon as you possibly can, you need to delegate all of the $10 tasks, and then move up to the next level by delegating all of the $100 tasks, then delegate all of the $1,000 tasks. Keep on repeating this process until you are only focusing on the highest level possible revenue generating tasks only. And you can achieve this by developing systems and building teams, systematization and delegation. So never cut your own grass and delegate to automate. So when it comes to delegation, we want to be thinking who, not how. Who can solve this problem for me, not how can I solve this problem for myself. Internal growth versus external growth. So internal growth focuses on things such as generating more leads, improving your sales conversion rate, improving your marketing campaigns, improving your products, your services, your systems, and your staff, and so on. Focusing on internal results in linear growth. An example of linear growth might be an annual growth of around 15% per year. External growth, on the other hand, focuses on things such as acquiring other assets and other businesses that complement your current business model. Focusing on the external results in exponential or quantum growth. An example of this would be annual growth of around 2,000% or more. So I'm not going to be discussing any external growth strategies in today's training. I'm not going to go into detail on acquisitions or mergers or anything like that. The purpose of this slide is just to open your mind and shift your perspective on how you currently view your business. External growth is not always a part of everybody's plan, but understanding the concept is important as an entrepreneur. Fishing with poles versus fishing with nets. So as a business operator, if you don't go fishing that day, you do not eat that day. Whereas as a business owner or an empire builder, if you do not go fishing that day, you still catch lots of fish and you and your family still eat. Creating more free time for high-level RGAs. So if you are still in business operator mode, then here are 3 tips to help you free up more time and focus on higher level activities. So number 1 is to hire help, aka delegate. So you can easily hire a VA to help you with general admin tasks such as emails, invoices, managing your social media platforms, and so on. You can hire a VA for as little as $5 on websites such as Upwork.com or onlinejobs.ph. I have used both and I recommend both, and I still use both to this day. I currently have 10 plus staff who are based in the Philippines that do everything from bookkeeping to basic content creation, general admin tasks, and much more. Having these VAs means that I can keep costs lower, frees up a lot of time for our full-time and executive staff who are mostly located in Ireland, Canada, and Dubai. You don't need to have a person in your office Monday to Friday when a large chunk of the work can be done remotely, especially in this day and age. So I strongly recommend that you set up a Slack.com account to manage all of your internal communication with your team. Everybody from your executive staff to your bookkeeper, your VAs, and anybody else who plays a part within your company. Whether you're a general contractor or a digital marketer, Slack is a tool and a system that you should be using for all internal communication. Slack also has a phone application as well as the desktop version, which makes daily communication with your team a breeze. All of my communication with all of my staff is all done within Slack. This means that I'm not trying to navigate between 6 different communication platforms every day, such as email, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, and so on. And if you can find the right people when you're hiring your VAs, you can even up-level them within your company over time to a stage where they're actually managing their own team within the company, because great people will always evolve within a company. Number 2 is food preparation. So the average person spends about 8 hours a week preparing food and grocery shopping and so on. This 8 hours excludes things like cleaning the dishes and actually eating the food. So I suggest that you either A, cook in bulk on a Sunday for the week ahead, B, order your food from a meal prep company, or C, hire a chef if you have the luxury of doing so. Number 3 is cleaning or maintenance. So stop cutting your own grass, and I mean this quite literally. Hire a cleaner to do your laundry, wash your floors, your windows, hire a gardener or a landscaper to do all external work. If you have a large garden and it takes you 4 hours to do your gardening each week, you could hire in a gardener or a landscaper for, let's say, $60 to do all of that work for you. You can then spend that 4 hours making sales calls or working on higher level revenue generating activities that could end up generating you hundreds or thousands or even millions. Points of improvement within your business. So this is focusing on internal growth. The ability to see your business from a 10,000 foot view and spot any bottlenecks or areas within the business that are in need of attention is vitally important. Many entrepreneurs are so busy working in their business that they never take the time to step back and focus on the bigger picture. And this is exactly why they never progress towards their goals. They're standing too close to the tree to see the forest. The big blue box here on the screen represents your business. And within this blue box, we've got a bunch of different yellow boxes. Each yellow box represents a different area within your business. And bear in mind, guys, that every business will vary in structure. This is just an example. Within each area of your business, then you will have countless different systems, different processes, tools, assets, and moving parts. There will always be at least one area within your business that needs attention at any one time, because the reality is, guys, that nothing in business is ever static. In this example, we can see that there are 3 main issues within this particular business. Number 1 is their conversion rate, number 2 is their cash flow, and number 3 is the mindset of the entrepreneur, which we're going to dive into in a lot more detail later on in this training, because your entire business is a reflection of you, and the success of every business, as I always preach, is directly related to the caliber of the entrepreneur. So the first step to improvement, whether it's a business issue or a personal issue, is always awareness. Now, as I've said, this is obviously an example, but it gives you a high-level visual on how you need to be looking at your business in order to achieve constant positive growth. And remember, guys, when you need to solve problems within your business, you don't always have to be the one to fix it. Think who, not how. Just like the grandmaster chess player, it is your job to strategize and identify any potential issues or problems within your business and plan your next move to move the company forward. Hire other people to do the work where and when you can. Revenue versus profit. Again, business basics 101, but so many entrepreneurs still tend to overlook the basics. Lots of entrepreneurs get caught up on how much revenue their company generates, but what you really need to be prioritizing is your profit. So you could have a 10 million a year business with a profit margin of 8%, which is 800k before any taxes are deducted. Whereas a company doing half that, just 5 million a year, that has a profit margin of 45%, is left with 2 million before any taxes are deducted. This is a difference of 1.2 million a year in extra profit. Plus, you will have less moving parts within your business, less hassle, and less headaches. So when it comes to growing your business and scaling your business, focus on maximizing your profit before you look to increase gross revenue. Now, that being said, there will be times when you'll need to invest heavily into strategic growth, which can usually see your top line, aka your revenue, increase, and your bottom line, aka your profit, decrease, which is completely normal and completely acceptable as part of a long-term strategic growth plan where you are investing into the future growth of your business to ultimately increase the bottom line over time. But if this is your modus operandi when it comes to how you run your business, then you could be in trouble. 2 quick ways to instantly increase your profits. Again, Business Basics 101, increase your prices. And to do this, you need to make sure that you're providing a lot of value and that you're also able to communicate that high value to your customers. Number 2 is reduce expenses. So trim the fat. I heard a story of this one guy who acquired a company, and as he was going through the P&L, he discovered that they had an expense wherein they were sponsoring a giraffe in Africa for $200,000 a year just to sponsor a giraffe. Now, obviously, that's on the crazier end of things, but make sure to take the time each week to go through the profit and loss for your own company to make sure that that you have no giraffes within your company, no matter how small they are. So keep it simple, guys. More profit does not mean more complexity. In fact, it's generally the opposite. Okay, so let's move on to talk a little bit about client acquisition before we move on to my personal favorite and undoubtedly the most impactful topic, which is self-alchemy, that's coming up next. As a business owner or an empire builder, the goal is to delegate the work, build systems, and hire great people to run and manage those systems. And you'll find that I keep preaching the same thing over and over again, but it's crazy how many people are doing it wrong. The same rule applies to your marketing. You want to delegate this to the experts, whether you hire them in-house or outsource it to an agency. By leaving it to the experts, you A, don't have to worry about doing it yourself, meaning more time for you to focus on high-level RGAs. And B, the experts will always get you much better results than you would trying to do it all yourself. Even if you already are an expert marketer, you should still delegate that task. I myself personally come from a strong marketing background. I've worked as a marketing executive for many years, but even now I still delegate the marketing of my companies to other marketing experts because I need to focus my time on high-level RGAs. I need to spend my time working on the company and not in the company. Just like the dentist or the carpenter, they might actually be the best in the world at what they do. But if they want to achieve complete time freedom, money freedom, and location freedom, well then they need to change how they do things. They cannot be micromanaging and doing everything themselves. So before you can effectively delegate anything, it is important to understand the core principles of that task or that area first. So let's look at some of the principles of effective marketing. So here we're going to look at some client acquisition principles. Understanding your customer journey. So what is client acquisition? Client acquisition is the art of converting complete strangers into paying customers consistently with predictability. So essentially it's marketing and sales. You can see here on the very left, we have a complete stranger. So these are the people you have identified as your ideal customers of your business based on their geographic location, their demographic makeup, and their interests. This is called your customer avatar, which you absolutely must be 100% sure of. You will be able to create powerful marketing content and campaigns that resonate deeply with the needs, values, and desires of your ideal clients, putting you in a much stronger position than your competitors. Next up, we have brand exposure. So more exposure equals more sales. People cannot do business with you if they do not know who you are. As simple as that. And even more than that, you need to build up a strong level of trust, credibility, and authority with your target market before they will ever choose to do business with you. This can all easily be achieved by correctly leveraging your social media platforms, creating powerful content that communicates a clear message that resonates deeply with your target market, and also by leveraging paid advertising to amplify your brand exposure and automate lead generation. Next, we have strategic positioning, the ability to position your services and your products as the perfect solution to your customers' problems, needs, and desires. Stop trying to sell the product or the service to people. Instead, learn how to sell the outcome or the end result of what your products or services can help your customers achieve. A good example of this is that Rolls-Royce do not sell cars, they sell luxury and status. People only really care about getting what they want. How they get there or how you can help them make that happen is less important to them. So while your competitors are out there trying to get people to buy their services and their products using incentives such as lower prices than everybody else, you can easily get ahead through strategic positioning. You'll no longer need to compete on price. You'll be able to implement a value-based pricing strategy while everybody else in your industry is in a race to the bottom by operating with a competitive-based pricing strategy. Next, we have conversion, the ability to qualify a lead and close the deal. A staggering amount of business owners are really terrible at sales, and they are even worse when it comes to closing a deal. They lack confidence in themselves, they lack confidence in their products and their services. They don't know how to transition from selling to closing. They can't handle objections, and many business owners do not even have a proper sales process in place. Next, we have paying customer, a completed transaction, receiving a monetary payment in return for a service or product. So again, business basics 101. And lastly, we have retention, repeated transactions from existing or past customers. This might be subscriptions, repeat custom, or upselling different products to the same customer over time. Retention relies on things like good customer service and high quality services and products. So marketing is pretty much second nature to me based on my background as a marketing executive. A lot of hands-on experience both on the tools, running campaigns for over 2,000 businesses and managing up 12 million in online advertising budgets, but also through building my own businesses. And I could easily do a whole training session on marketing alone, but for the sake of today's training, I am just going to scratch the surface to keep it short and sweet. So let's talk about your content and your message. Firstly, people cannot become a customer of your business if they do not know about you. Secondly, people will absolutely 100% judge you, your business, your products, your services, your credibility based on what they see online. Every piece of content that you create on behalf of your business has a purpose. The purpose is to communicate a clear message to a specific person. The message that you put out in your content needs to effectively communicate your value offer, your professionalism, credibility, trust, and position your business or your brand as a figure of authority within your space. And most importantly of all, it needs to communicate to your target market that your product or your service is the perfect solution to their problems, their needs, and their desires. Your content needs to be so good that it resonates so deeply with your target customers' needs, wants, and desires that they instantly feel that your product or your service is 100% the perfect fit for them. In every industry, there are countless businesses selling the same products and services to the same people, but it's the ones who understand and implement these principles that ultimately dominate their space and take market share over their competitors. Next up, we have copywriting. So copywriting plays a massive role when it comes to communicating the right message to the right people. Copywriting is the wording, the language, and the written text that is used throughout all of your marketing and advertising material, both online and offline. The difference between good copywriting and poor copywriting can mean the difference between a massively successful and profitable marketing campaign and one that completely tanks and costs you a ton of money. Copywriting applies to every single piece of written text across all platforms, from your business card to your website, your social media posts, physical posters and billboards, and of course, most importantly, your paid marketing and advertising campaigns. Last thing you want is to be spending a ton of money on poorly crafted advertising campaigns that end up losing your business a ton of money. Whereas when this is done right, it can be extremely lucrative and it will likely be the most valuable revenue stream for your company. Paid advertising, when it is done right, is like turning on a tap that consistently and predictably feeds your company with new customers and new sales. The quality of the content that you put out online is massively important. It gives your customers a visual of the services and the products that you offer. And you can bet the bank on it that they will absolutely judge everything about you, your business, your products, and your services based on what they see online. Now, you do not always have to hire a professional videographer or photographer every time you want to create a new piece of content. In fact, it can be best to just use your smartphone to take a quick snap for your Instagram page or record a quick video to post online. Self-made content made on your smartphone will often suffice, and it can work really well as part of an overall content marketing strategy. But when it comes to things like your website content or paid advertising campaigns that you're going to be running over longer periods and maybe pumping hundreds or thousands of dollars into a campaign, it would be wise to go the extra mile and invest into getting some professional content done up for the website and for the advertising campaigns in order to yield best results. Let's talk automation. So when you have great content and a great message, then you can easily leverage paid advertising to amplify your brand exposure and automate your lead generation. Online advertising is extremely powerful when it is done right. Unfortunately, I do see too many business owners doing it poorly and trying to do it all themselves with the wrong strategies, the wrong information, or else they might just be outsourcing it to the wrong people who are incompetent marketers that end up costing them a ton of money instead of making them money. Online advertising is a highly specialized skill that should only be undertaken by an expert if you want to see great results. And again, guys, this training is not going to be all about marketing. We're going to dive deep into the good stuff, which is the self-alchemy, which is coming up really soon. So you should not be outsourcing your marketing to a mate of yours who does it as a side gig just because he's a techie kind of guy, or to your wife or your kid because they took a $97 course in digital marketing, or even to your secretary, because these people are not experts in this particular field, and therefore they are not going to get you good results. To really see good results and to really get a profitable return on investment from paid advertising, it requires extensive knowledge and specialist skills in many different areas, from media buying, copywriting, graphic design, data analysis, marketing psychology, targeting strategies, marketing research, split testing strategies, retargeting strategies, along with the required knowledge and ability to use and manage the advertising tools and platforms themselves. Even in our company alone, we have people who just specialize in media buying, people who just specialize in copywriting, people who just specializing in graphic design, and so on. Your budgeting and your return on investment. So paid advertising is a powerful tool utilized by most companies today to build their brand and generate revenue, customers, and sales on autopilot. Those who don't take advantage of it usually see it as an expense rather than an investment. And this may be because they've had a bad experience in the past where they just don't understand it. Or maybe they are just too busy running around in circles in their business and constantly trying to put out fires in all other areas of their business that they have completely neglected it. How much you should be spending on advertising really varies from business to business. Many factors come into play when determining your budget, such as the locations that you want to target, the type of products or services that you offer, how much a customer or sale is worth to your business, the average lifetime value of a customer, the strength of your cash flow, how much volume your business can actually handle, and many, many other factors too. But if you are not currently utilizing paid advertising, then you're probably missing out on what is potentially your most powerful, predictable, and reliable form of generating new customers, new sales, and new revenue for your business. Organic marketing. So paid advertising aside for the moment, there are countless ways to grow your business through organic methods. But simply posting on your social media platforms won't really yield you much results in the form of sales and revenue. Where it will get you results is in helping you to develop a credible reputation and establish a high level of trust with your audience and your customers online, which most definitely will have a positive net ROI on your bottom line over time. It is essential to post regular content on all of your online platforms, as it is the foundation of everything that you do online. Even when a new potential customer sees one of your paid ads pop up on their newsfeed for the first time, they will always take the time to check out your online platforms to see what you're really all about. And as I've mentioned previously, this is when they will judge the credibility of your business and your services and your products. A customer will always do this before they ever consider reaching out to your company or becoming a customer of your business. Having a strong and clear call to action is super important. People need to be told what to do and what action to take in order to reach out to your business and become a customer. This might be something as simple as adding a line of text to the bottom of your post, such as click the link below to book in a free call, or having an autoresponder set up to direct people to wherever it is that you want them to go to get in contact with your business. Streamlining inquiries to just one point of contact will make it a lot easier for your team to manage incoming inquiries. Instead of having all of the leads scattered across 4 different email inboxes, 5 different social media platforms, 2 different phone numbers, and a WhatsApp account, pick just one point of contact to funnel all incoming traffic to. With SPM, anytime somebody contacts us on Facebook or sends us a private message inquiry, they get an auto response with a link to our Calendly page, which they can fill in a short questionnaire and select a time and a date that suits them for us to call them back, where we can discuss their inquiry in detail. You will not find an email address or a phone number on SPM's website, just a link to the Calendly lead form. Of course, once somebody does become a paying customer, we prioritize communication via phone, email, Zoom, and so on. But by removing all of that and having just one point of contact, it has made everything so much more simplified and streamlined. Not only does it make it easier for my team to manage and track every single lead and every single inquiry, but by having people fill out that short questionnaire, it also helps to pre-qualify the prospect. And again, having the right questions on this type of form is super important, filtering out those who are not a good fit for your company and collecting the right information on the prospect before you ever speak to them. So if you do not already have something like Calendly in place, I strongly recommend that you consider it. And remember guys, while it is important to understand all of this at a high level, you should not be doing any of this yourself. Instead, delegate it. As business owners and empire builders, we must stay focused on working on our business and not working in it. So people will judge everything about your business and your brand, your products and your services based on what they see online. So do not cut corners when it comes to your online presence. Principles of effective sales. So forget B2B or B2C. It's all about P2P. So B2B means business to business. B2C stands for business to consumer. But P2P means people to people. The sooner that you realize that sales and business is all about the people, the sooner that you will begin to see a major shift in your results. You must have a sales process, a step-by-step sequence of events that each new prospect goes through to strategically convert them from complete stranger to paying customer. Most of you will already have some form of a sales process in place, but many still don't. Many are still just winging it. And if they do have a sales process, it is often just copied from another business, poorly structured, and is not optimized for their specific business model. Your sales process needs to be bespoke, tailored specifically to your business. Where your marketing efforts stop, your sales process must take over. It is crazy how many business owners expect the marketing to do all of the heavy lifting for them. Your marketing and your lead generation efforts can only take a prospect so far along your client acquisition process. While a certain amount of selling can be achieved as part of an effective marketing strategy, at a certain point your sales process needs to kick in to walk the customer right through to the close. And remember, it is only a done deal when the money is in the bank. Qualifying new leads. A good marketing strategy will naturally pre-qualify all leads once you are communicating the right message and you have the right structure in place. Through effective marketing, great quality content, a powerful message and strategic positioning, you will be able to consistently attract highly qualified customers to your business, continuously and predictably. But poor marketing, poor content, poor messaging, and poor positioning will only attract poorly qualified leads and ultimately lower your sales conversion rate, because no matter how good you or your sales team are at sales, if the prospect is not a good fit for your business, you will just end up wasting your time and their time speaking with the wrong people, on top of wasting all of your advertising dollars trying to generate that lead in the first place. So pre-qualifying all new prospects and leads is a key element of developing a powerful sales process and achieving a high closing rate. How to win at sales. So having the right sales process in place is just part of it, but the ability to work the sales process is key. So remember, people to people. 3 key traits of a great salesperson are 1, energy, 2, enthusiasm, and 3, certainty. If you lack any of these 3 elements, then no matter how good the product or service is that you're selling or how highly qualified the leads are, you will not have the ability to communicate effectively, to sell, or to close the deal. The prospect will always pick up on the intricacies of your non-verbal communication, i.e. your tone or your vibe. So the energy or the enthusiasm and the certainty you are communicating to the prospect. Whether you build houses, build websites, run marketing campaigns, maybe you keep books, maybe you're a butcher, no matter what you do, this applies to you. If you cannot communicate a high level of certainty, then you are quite simply screwed. Certainty that your product or your service is the absolute best solution for your customers' needs, wants, and desires. Certainty that you are 100% capable of following through on your word and providing your customers with a high quality product or a high quality service as you have promised. I have even advised my own sales reps at times to stand up out of their chair and do 20 jumping jacks before getting on a sales call to lift their energy and raise their enthusiasm. This sounds crazy, and this is crazy, but we've got to do whatever it takes to get our energy up before getting on a sales call. If you're on the call and you're slow and you're sleepy and you lack enthusiasm, you are just not going to be able to close that deal, no matter how highly qualified the prospect is. So you cannot lack confidence in yourself or in the product or service that you're selling if you want to become great at sales. You must be 100% sold on you and the products or the service that you are selling before you will ever be able to successfully sell others. If you have poor self-esteem, or if you have any doubt in the product or service that you're selling in any way whatsoever, then you'll never win at sales. If somebody wants to buy a car from a salesman, but the salesman is giving off a really bad vibe, customer may very well choose that exact same car for the exact same price from another dealer. The issue here is not the product or the price, although the customer will likely use one of these reasons as their objection to escape the salesman. I see this all of the time. Business owners who suck at sales, blaming things like their marketing campaigns or the quality of the lead or some other external factor, when in most cases the leads are often very high quality. There's no issue with the market because their competitors are thriving. The real problem is that the business owner does not know how to sell. They don't have a high level of energy, enthusiasm, or certainty. They're giving off the wrong vibe, and they just do not know how to communicate effectively. An entrepreneur that is bad at sales is the equivalent to a pole vault athlete without a pole. But don't freak out if you're watching this and you feel like you currently do suck at sales, because that can absolutely be changed. Great salespeople are not born, they are made. Even when you build your business to a stage where you have a sales team in place, you will always be selling as an entrepreneur. That might be negotiating an acquisition deal or a salary increase with an employee. Whatever it is, you are always going to be selling. So you get good at sales by understanding human psychology, P2P, people to people. And a very good book on the principles of all of this is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Self-mastery, developing your emotional control, which we're going to speak about in detail next. So things like self-esteem, confidence, awareness, communication, and so on. Structure, having a great sales process that is tailored to your business. Repetition, so do not judge yourself as a salesperson until you've stacked up the numbers. As with all things, you get better by doing more. Take action, apply what you learn from today's training, make more offers, and watch your results improve dramatically. Again, guys, I could do a month-long training on sales, but we just do not have the time. I simply just want to scratch the surface. Nothing in business is ever static. If you rest on your laurels, you will fall behind. You must always be evolving your strategy and your mindset. So let's talk about self-alchemy. The success of a business is directly proportionate to the caliber of the entrepreneur. Would Tesla be what it is today without Elon Musk? Would McDonald's be what it is today without Ray Kroc? And would Walmart have been such a massive success without Sam Walton? These guys were the visionaries of their companies, a source of positive energy. the leaders of the pack. Whether you are currently the only employee of your business, or maybe you have 5,000 plus staff, these same principles apply. As I continuously preach, the success of a business is directly proportionate to the caliber of the entrepreneur. The reason Tesla, Walmart, McDonald's, Virgin, and so many other companies were such a massive success was because of the caliber of the entrepreneur behind them. Their habits, their self-esteem, their energy, their enthusiasm, their decision-making abilities, their vision, their strategy, their attitude, their mindset, their ability to organize, delegate, and systematize, their people skills, their ability to communicate effectively, their level of awareness, and so on. Remember, guys, the quality of the input will determine the quality of the output. It all starts with you, the entrepreneur. You do not have business problems. You have personal problems that reflect in your business. Every business is an extension of the business owner. Your business is an extension of you. This is especially true if you are still in business operator mode, but it is also true for business owners and empire builders too. You are the visionary, you are the energy source, and you are the leader of the pack. So let's talk about habits. Success does not happen to you. Success happens because of you. Your results in life and business are the sum total of your habits and your action. It all starts with your thoughts, aka your mindset, your attitude, and your self-talk, all of which is massively impacted by your environment, which we will cover next. Your thoughts determine your actions. So an important point to consider is that even though you might be practicing the law of attraction as such, you must follow through with aggressive and strategic action. Strategic daily actions that are in direct alignment with your positive thoughts, your vision, and ultimately your end goals. Mastering your emotional control is an essential quality that will give you the ability to back up your positive thoughts with positive action. Way too many people fall short when it comes to taking action because they react to their emotions and their circumstance. Their actions are determined by their emotions. And this is a recipe for disaster. So here we can see a little diagram of a feedback loop that I've created. So in a nutshell, your thoughts create your actions create your habits create results, and your results create your reality, which creates a feedback loop, which creates more of the same thoughts, more of the same actions, more of the same habits, and more of the same results. So if we look at the top line, we've got positive thoughts. So between our thoughts and our actions is where most people fail, because if they lack the emotional control, discipline, and accountability, oftentimes they don't follow through on their positive thoughts. And this lack of emotional control leads to negative action. Whereas if they have established a strong level of emotional control, discipline, and they have strong accountability, positive thoughts lead to positive action. And positive actions repeated over time turn into positive habits. Positive habits create positive results, and positive results will create more positive thoughts. Whereas those who lack that emotional control, that discipline, and that accountability fall into taking negative action. And negative actions repeated over time create negative habits. Negative habits yield negative results, and negative results yield negative thoughts. And this is where people end up getting stuck in a negative feedback loop. But where you can make the change is in your thoughts. And that's where you have a choice. You could make the decision. Often people will stumble across inspiration or motivation that will shift their thought patterns into a more positive state, but relying on inspiration and motivation is not enough to yield lasting results. We must develop emotional control, we must develop discipline, and we must have accountability. But as you can see down here on the bottom left, if you are currently in a negative feedback loop with negative thoughts, actions, habits, and results, you have the choice to change your thoughts. Everything starts with your thoughts. Two good books that I recommend on all of this are Power of Habit, which you can see here on the left side of the screen, and The Compound Effect, which you can see here on the right-hand side of the screen. Poor people are poor because they have poor habits. Rich people are rich because they have rich habits. And you get more when you become more. Constructive imagination. If you take just one thing from this entire training today, let it be the idea of constructive imagination. This one idea, this one concept can literally change your entire life. So constructive imagination is the conscious practice of reprogramming your subconscious mind to elicit positive, lasting change in your character, resulting in positive results in your life, in your reality. In a nutshell, constructive imagination is how you strategically recreate your character, aka a paradigm shift, to be in direct alignment with your desired outcome. So there's a lot of fluff out there online today about mindset and paradigm shifts and so on. Some of it is good, but a lot of it is nonsense. And most of the time, these gurus will overcomplicate the process, try and overwhelm you with all these ideas and strategies and concepts so that you'll buy their book or their course or their program or whatever it is that they have to sell. Like most things in life and business, it's simple in theory, but it's not always easy in practice. So the basic principle of constructive imagination is this. Number one, decide exactly what you want. You must have a clear vision and a clear goal. You need something to aim at. You need something to strive for. Those without a clear goal are like a ship at sea without a destination, pointlessly burning up all of their fuel, aka their time and their energy, going around in circles and never really getting anywhere. Number two, make a clear plan. So reverse engineer your big goals down into daily actions. How you spend and manage your time will determine what you get in life. Break these big goals down into smaller yearly goals and then structure your days out and only allow your calendar space to be filled with tasks, actions and activities that are going to move the needle forward. Activities that are directly aligned with your end goal. Everything else must be delegated, automated or completely eliminated. If there's any task or activity that is not in direct alignment with your goal, that is not going to move the needle forward towards the end result that you desire, eliminate it immediately. Number three, create the character. Every day when you wake up in the morning, set aside some time to do what I call scribing. This is essentially writing out your story, aka your identity. So your story is a detailed written description of you in the present tense after having already achieved the things that you want to achieve. So your big goals, your end result. And after you've already developed the character qualities of a distinguished entrepreneur. A description of you after you've acquired all of the things and achieved all of the things that you most desire in life. So you must get super detailed with this. And an important element to remember is that once you've written out a detailed description of your ideal character, your ideal life, aka your story, meditate on this for 20 minutes every single day. The magic is in the repetition, guys. The key to making this process work for you is to feel the feelings. How would it feel to have already achieved everything that you want to achieve in life and business? Really tap into these emotions and meditate on your story, on your new identity, to bring to life your new character, which is in direct alignment with your end goals. And number four is to play the part. So now that you have A, decided exactly what it is that you want, B, you've made a clear plan, C, you've created that new character identity. Now you need to back all of this up with action. You need to play the part of your new character all day, every day. How does your new character, who is in direct alignment with the results that you want to achieve in life, how do they dress? How do they talk? What words do they use? What words do they not use? How do they compose themselves? Where do they get their information from? How do they handle difficult situations and difficult conversation? What type of car do they drive? What type of house do they live in? What are their values in life? What are their hobbies? Who are their peers? Who are their mentors? What books do they read? What way do they act under pressure? What time do they wake up at each morning? What is their diet like? How much alcohol do they consume? What is their tolerance for toxic people? Where do they live? What material things do they own? And when I say they, I'm referring to you, the new you, the improved you, the highest version of you who has already achieved all of the things that you want to achieve in life and business. Your new character identity. When you wake up each day, instead of just falling straight back, the same old routines, the same old habits, the same old thought patterns that will ultimately just get you the same old results, make the conscious decision to play the part of this character. Start off every day by doing your constructive imagination. Consistency and repetition is key. 99.9% of people never change because they allow their emotions to determine their actions. They set their alarm to wake up at 5, but when they wake up, it's dark outside, it's cold, they hit the snooze button, and they get back into bed, and then they wake up at the same old time, fall back into the same old routine that gets them the same old results. Most people repeat this until the day they die. A big part of developing the required discipline and resilience is accountability. Remember, guys, your goals and your ideals in life will change and evolve as you change and evolve as a person. So embrace the positive change and continue to rework your vision, your values, and your goals as you evolve and progress along your journey. You only get out of constructive imagination what you put in. Input equals output. Your self-talk throughout the course of the day can make or break you. Even by following the daily practice of constructive imagination, you'll need to develop a high level of awareness to know when your self-talk is positive and when it's negative. Whenever you catch yourself saying negative things to yourself throughout the day, such as doubting yourself, doubting your abilities, putting yourself down, or just toxic self-talk in general, use that as a trigger to recalibrate, visualize your ideals. Tap into feeling the feelings of having already achieved your goals and get straight back to playing the part of that character that you created, who is in direct alignment with the end result. Visualization strategy that you can utilize is to tap into what we call your alpha state. So your alpha state is the vision of your ideal reality that you can tap into at any moment to instantly lift your vibration. Most people are stuck in their beta state, meaning that they are constantly dwelling on their current results, their current reality, instead of focusing on their ideal results and their ideal reality, which causes stress, negativity, lack of motivation, anxiety, depression, and so on. You need to spend more time focusing on your intentions, your goals, and your ideals, and spend less time dwelling on your current situation, your current results, and your current reality. And if you do not already know what your ideal reality is, well then you need to sit down and take some time to figure out what it is that you really want in life, what you desire most in life, and create that vision in detail. A sensation of complete bliss. An example might be to imagine that you're sitting by the pool, smoking a nice Cuban cigar after driving your Rolls Royce back from lunch at your favorite beach view restaurant. You've got multiple millions in cash in the bank, you've got multiple streams of passive income, all of your family are happy, they're healthy, they're financially taken care of, the sun is shining, your favorite songs are playing over the sound system, you're surrounded by amazing people, and your business empire is thriving. Now, your ideal vision will likely be different to this example, but you get the idea. So once you've established what your ideal reality is, now start to feel how this feels in the present moment. And this is stepping into your alpha state. You will instantly start to notice that your entire vibration will change into a more positive state. Your body will physically feel more relaxed and you will feel less stressed. The key is to define your ideal reality, visualize it, and feel how that feels in the present moment. The more time you spend in your alpha state, the better you will feel, meaning you will be constantly in better alignment with your goals, with your ideal character. And when your feelings and actions and your character are in direct alignment with your goals and with your ideal reality, you will find yourself on the fast track to achieving those goals with a lot less resistance. A single seed of doubt will destroy all chances of success. So never ever doubt yourself. By times, yes, you may be wrong. By times, you may fail, but you should never be in doubt. It is essential that you develop absolute conviction that you will achieve your goals. You will only achieve your goals when you fully believe that you are deserving and worthy of doing so. Let's talk about your network. So you've probably heard the saying before that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So get a pen and paper and complete the following exercise. Firstly, over the last month, list out the 5 people that you've spent the most time around. Write out a detailed description of each person. So essentially, their story. Everything from how they dress, how much money they make, their hobbies, their attitudes, the places they hang out, how they compose themselves, how fit they are, how healthy they are, how much alcohol do they drink, how do they perform under pressure, do they gossip about other people and judge other people, where do they get their information from, what are their bad habits and what are their good habits, who do they look up to in life, what are their goals in life, what are their ambitions in life, what are their values, what books do they read, who are their mentors and their coaches if they have any, what are their ambitions, their goals, their values, and what material things do they own. So once you've detailed all of that out, take a look at your story, your identity, your goals in life, the person that you want to become, and the things that you want to achieve. Now, based on what you've discovered about the 5 people that you've been spending the most time with over the last month, ask yourself this question. Are these 5 people going to hold you back from achieving your goals and from evolving into the version of you that is in direct alignment with your end goals? Or will these people be a source of positive energy, a source of influence, and a source of great support? You need to ask yourself, are these people going to drag you down and hold you back? Or are they going to lift you up and drive you forward? If they are not in direct alignment with what you were trying to achieve and what you were trying to become in life and in business, well then it's time to restructure your network so that you can play the part with less resistance and accelerate towards the successful achievement of your goals. Oftentimes, it can be our family members and our closest friends who are the biggest source of negative energy and that cause us the most resistance. In these cases, you need to consciously limit the time that you spend with these people, even if you love them very much, because they will only hold you back. Most people do not hold you back on purpose. A lot of the time, it all stems from a place of love. They may genuinely love you and may genuinely care for you, but their own negative attitudes, their toxic mindset, their bad habits, which most of them are completely unaware of, all of this has a majorly negative impact on your progress if you spend too much time around them. So we are the product of our environment. And by them holding you back from achieving your goals means that you won't have the ability to help them. A lot of entrepreneurs want to become financially successful so that they can help their families and their loved ones, to treat them to a better quality of life. But these are often the people who hold us back. And often the people who hold us back in life are a big part of the reason why we are so driven to succeed in the first place. Because we want to help them change. We want to provide a better quality of life for them. So if you let them pull you down and hold you back, then not only will you suffer the consequences, but they will suffer too as a result. It's not always about what you know, but a lot of the time it's about who you know. Remember, people to people. So be strategic in building up your network. Make sure your personal and professional network are full of people who lift you up and eliminate those who drag down. Nourish your network. A healthy relationship is a two-way street. This applies to both personal and professional relationships. So don't just contact someone when you want something from them. Respect and value the people within your network. Give more than you receive. Show genuine appreciation, interest, and loyalty. Send people in your network regular gestures of friendship and appreciation, birthday cards and gifts. Drop them a random text or a phone call each time you think of them, just to check in and say hello. Powerful relationships add value both ways. There will be times when you can help them out and other times when they can help you out. Always try to surround yourself with people who are above you so that they can pull you up to a higher level. If you are always the smartest person in the room or the most successful person in the room, then you're probably hanging out in the wrong rooms. Two great books I recommend on this. Again, one is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and another one is Power by Robert Greene. Self-control. So self-control is resisting temptation, not giving in to fast pleasures that may give you short-term satisfaction but ultimately cause you long-term problems. Acting instead of react. So when life happens to you, and it will, you have two choices. One is to act, or two is to react. Those who always react allow outer circumstances to control their emotions and their actions and ultimately their reality. The key to self-mastery is to develop the habit of emotional control, learning to remain composed in all situations. Say less. So instead of always just speaking without thinking, say less. You've got one mouth and two ears for a reason. Being the loudest person in the room usually does you no favors. Listen twice as much as you speak. Not only will you learn a lot more, but you communicate more power. You will be perceived as a stronger and wiser character. This is especially effective in situations where you are engaging in negotiations with another party. And discipline. Motivation and inspiration are enough to get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. After time, discipline becomes a habit, a character trait, and your modus operandi. Discipline is simply doing the things that you said you would do regardless of what gets in the way. Working out when you say you will. Committing to your diet, waking up when the alarm goes off, being committed, not just interested. It is almost impossible to have discipline without emotional control. So you can learn something from everybody that you meet, even if it's what not to do. Input equals output. So garbage in equals garbage out. So if you hang out with toxic people, chances are that you will become a toxic person. If you hang out with successful people, chances are that you will become a successful person. If you consume useless information on social media all day, every day, chances are that you will build a mind full of useless information. If you read great educational books and study personal development, chances are that you will build a mind of wisdom and knowledge. If you eat crap food, chances are that you will feel crap and that you will look crap. If you eat healthy food, chances are that you will feel great and look great. If you take daily actions towards your goals, chances are that you will achieve your goals. Whereas if you procrastinate all day, every day, chances are that you will never achieve your goals. So we can change our results by changing our input. Input equals output. And a good example of this is to think of a 3D printer. So when you change the software or the programming of the 3D printer, it changes the product that the printer creates. The same applies to you. Think of the software or the programming as your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitude, and your mindset. And then think of you as the hardware, as the 3D printer. And then think of your results in life as the 3D product that it prints. By changing your programming and your software, you can change the outcome. You can change the results. All change on the outside first starts with change on the inside. So let's talk about self-image for a moment. You will never rise above your own opinion of yourself. In the famous words of Henry Ford, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. The inner story that you tell yourself about who you are is creating your outer reality. Maybe as a child, your parents said things like, you're just naturally clumsy, or you were always a very shy and awkward person. Or maybe they said things like, little Bobby just isn't very book smart or street smart or whatever. All of this input creates your self-image. And in life, we believe to be true what we perceive to be true, especially as a kid listening to the opinions and the advice of our parents. As a child, we view our parents as a figure of authority, and therefore whatever they say must be true. But you must develop the habit of questioning everything. A healthy level of open-minded skepticism is always a good thing. Seek out the truth in everything. Seek out the facts. Deal with the facts only. Never take anybody's opinion on anything to be true, on anything to be fact or truthful. Do your own homework and make up your own mind on everything based on your own research and your own due diligence. A parent or a peer might say something like, hey, you know Pat from down the road, Pat is a bad person and you should never trust Pat. Now, maybe Pat actually is a bad person, or maybe the person telling you this is jealous of Pat, or maybe they have overheard a story about Pat that was actually not true. Maybe it was just a rumor or gossip. In this case, the person giving you this information does not have the awareness to question these things themselves. And most people do not have that level of awareness, but you do. So make up your own mind on people. Take on board all available information, but do your own due diligence to uncover the facts in every situation. Apply this method to everything that you do in life and business. Raise your awareness, make up your own mind on what is good, what is bad, what is right, and what is wrong. The amazing thing about your self-image is that you can change it. And when you change your inner reality, aka your self-image, your story, and your identity, you develop the power to change your outer reality, aka your results. You can literally recreate your entire external reality by reprogramming your internal beliefs. It takes work, it takes time, but it's only called work because it actually works. Everything worthwhile requires some level of effort and sacrifice. Our mindset is massively impacted by the people around us, especially by our parents as a kid. If we grew up listening to our parents say things like, money is the root of all evil, or we are a middle-class, hard-working family and that's just the way it is, we will never be rich, or rich people are greedy and selfish, or never lift weights in the gym because it's bad for you. Don't take risks, it's better to be safe than sorry, or never invest into real estate, it's too risky. So all of these sayings that we hear as a kid and also as an adult from our peers that we spend time around, all of this input plays a crucial part in the creation and the development of our mindset and our worldview. And what happens is that our subconscious mind absorbs all of this information as fact, as truth, because our subconscious mind does not know the difference between right or wrong, true or false. And by absorbing all of these sayings and this misinformation, it then works to form our belief patterns, our worldview, and our identity, and ultimately our reality. All of this shapes the things that we say, the things that we see, the things that we do, and the results that we get in life and business. Most kids will support the same soccer team as their parents, and most kids will grow up to believe in the same religion as their parents and follow a same career path, probably earn a similar wage, live in a similar neighborhood, and have similar interests. Make up your own mind, create your own reality, because you are the creator and you have the power to do so. We get what we settle for in life. If you want to have 10 million in the bank, but you're not actually committed to doing whatever it takes to make that goal a reality, well then you will have to settle for whatever you get. You have to actively go after what it is that you want. If you want to drive a nice Range Rover, but you could not be bothered putting in the work on a daily basis, or reading books, or waking up early to work on you and work on your business, well then you're going to have to settle for whatever it is that you get. Any type of change is hard, especially at the start, especially when it comes to reprogramming your mindset and your self-image, because you are making a conscious effort to operate outside of your comfort zone. But when you master the art of emotional control, change becomes a breeze. Discomfort becomes your new comfort zone. With the right support and the right accountability, the right information, the right strategies, and most importantly, the right attitude, you can absolutely turn your life around for the better and achieve your goals with less resistance. A lot of the work that I do with entrepreneurs as part of the Distinguished Entrepreneur Program is based on self-image and confidence coaching, and you will never outgrow your own perception of yourself. Having a high level of self-esteem is vital to your success in life and business. It simply means that you value yourself highly. You have a high regard for who you are. You believe that you deserve everything that you desire. Low self-esteem is toxic to your success, and you'll end up developing toxic traits such as jealousy, fear, depression, anxiety, arrogance, and so on. This will cause a massive amount of resistance and limit your ability to grow and succeed in business and in life. What you think about and talk about becomes what you are about. A famous saying by Earl Nightingale is that we become what we think about. This stuff has been preached by some of the greatest and most successful people in the world for thousands of years, yet people still don't take it seriously. By taking it serious, I mean actually doing the work. A famous quote by Henry Ford is, "Thinking is the hardest work there is," which is probably the reason so few engage in it. Every single day I write out my goals, the things that I am grateful for, my affirmations, and my story, aka the detailed description of my ideal reality in the present tense. By doing this daily, it is reprogramming my mind, my beliefs, myself, and my self-image over time. It is the consistent, daily, repetitive actions and habits that yield us results. Success does not come to us in some form of magical, mystical event that happens out of the blue. Success comes as a result of doing the boring, unsexy work on a daily basis over time. Success requires sacrifice, discipline, and commitment. And you'll see entrepreneurs all of the time flexing on Instagram and TikTok about the glamorous lifestyle of entrepreneurship. But what you do not see is the not so glamorous side of it, the daily efforts that got them there, provided that they are actually successful and not just one of these fake influencers with no backbone, no real success, and just full of fluff. If you neglect to schedule the important stuff, i.e. the activities and tasks that are in direct alignment with your end goal, and if you never learn how to prioritize and manage your time, well then you won't achieve your desired outcome. Confidence is a key characteristic of all successful entrepreneurs. You can't be genuinely confident and doubt yourself at the same time. To develop confidence, you need to develop competence. So you need to stack up some wins. If you never do things that you promise to yourself and to others that you said you will do, then you will lack integrity and ultimately fail to develop self-confidence. Every time you start something new, you may naturally lack confidence in your abilities because you have not yet stacked up the wins. But if you persist and you show up every day and you stay focused on the end goal, and if you spend more time focusing on your good intentions instead of just dwelling on your lack of current results, well then you will stack up the wins faster. You will gather the vital experience that you need, and you will develop a high level of self-confidence. So your wins must outnumber your doubts. So let's talk about failure for a moment. So stop thinking of failure as a bad thing. Failures provide us with essential positive feedback. Failures point us back on track when we have taken a wrong turn. Failures provide us as entrepreneurs with some of the most valuable, eye-opening lessons that we will ever receive. People who live their lives in fear of taking risks and failing are the real failures. They become failures by default, living life as a failure instead of learning from their failures and using those lessons to move forwards faster towards their goals. Only those who get up off their ass and try something are the ones who are lucky enough to experience failure as a positive event that projects them forward instead of living life as a failure. The really lucky ones are those who see failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. Those who take it on the chin and keep pushing forward. You are only a failure if you give up, if you stop. Every time you experience a failure, shake yourself up, dust yourself off, lick your wounds, and get back on the wagon. You can either have results or excuses, but you cannot have both. Conor McGregor's coach, John Kavanagh, wrote a book titled Win or Learn. And the whole idea behind it is that whatever mountain that you decide to tackle, for most of you on this training here today, your Everest as such is to build a successful business and a successful empire. You will have one of two possible outcomes. One outcome is that you win, i.e. you will successfully achieve your desired result, and the other potential outcome is that you will learn from the experience, meaning that you can assess the data, take on board that information, and accelerate forwards faster by having acquired new knowledge as a result of your failure. You will learn what does not work, and you will learn what not to do, which makes you more powerful and more capable of succeeding with your next attempt. In either case, winning and learning are both positive outcomes. There is no failure. Every time you try something new, every time you put yourself out there and experience a failure, celebrate, treat yourself, pat yourself on the back, and do something to mark the occasion, because you are one of the ones who took action and you didn't fail. You learned, you gained experience, and you will look back on that event as a crucial learning curve that steered you in the right direction, which was an essential pivotal point on your path to success. Yes, setbacks and failures can be hard to deal with in the moment. This is why we need to master our emotional control. And remember, the true character of a person is revealed under the most testing of circumstances, and rough seas make skilled sailors. So here on the left is a Facebook post I posted a while back. Don't be afraid to fail. Most people who are great at something today were once no good at it too. The funny thing is that people will praise these great people for putting themselves out there and taking the risks that they did. Yet most people are afraid to put themselves out there because they fear that they will look silly or stupid, that people will judge them, that they will make mistakes, that they will lose friends, that they will lose money and so on. Well, guess what? You will look stupid by times. People will absolutely judge you. You will absolutely make mistakes. You will probably lose friends and you will probably lose money. Do it anyways. If you don't go after what you want in life, you'll end up miserable and part of someone else's dream. Failure is not a destination, it's a lesson. Those who try something, mess it up and try again over and over are the ones who become successful. Failure is essential to success and failure is valuable. Along your journey to success, you will find new friends who support you more. You will make more money than you lose. You will develop more confidence and better habits by going through the process. Whatever it is that you've been putting off, this is your sign to take action. Take one small action right now towards your end goal. Maybe it's calling up that investor or texting that girl or guy or posting about your new business idea or your product or your new service on social media. Whatever it is, just do it. Stop waiting for the perfect time because there is no such thing as the perfect time. Stop waiting until you've collected and analyzed all of the data. That is just procrastination. Go take the risk, have some fun while you still can. You're not here for a long time. A famous quote by Isaac Newton is that if I have seen farther than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. Those who choose to figure it all out themselves, in my opinion, are delusional and ego-driven. Their unwillingness to show any sort of vulnerability actually positions them in a weaker and less powerful position. It's complete madness to choose to try and learn everything from your own failures, to do everything yourself, when we have so much access to great information, great minds, and great people who have already paved the way before us, who have already overcame many of the failures and who have already developed solutions to many of the problems and achieved massive levels of success. The fast lane to the top is to learn from the experiences, failures, and successes of others. This will enable you to avoid unnecessary setbacks and accelerate you faster towards your goals. There is a saying that to get to the top sooner that you must increase your failure rate. And while this is very true, and because most people are either afraid to fail or they give up after a certain amount of failures, you can work smart with this too, by building on the shoulders of giants. And that simply means leveraging the failures, wisdom, and experiences of others. Choosing not to build on the shoulders of giants is ignorance of the highest order. This is the ego taking over, the attitude of, I don't need anybody's help, I can do it on my own. And yes, you probably are capable of doing a lot on your own, learning the hard way as such. But will you be able to get to where you want to go? Will you be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve and actually make it a reality within this lifetime while you are still young enough, healthy enough, and have enough energy to enjoy the fruits of your labor? Personally, I will take all of the help and leverage that I can get to help me accelerate faster towards my goals by building on the shoulders of giants. You can literally accelerate your progress by 10x, 100x, even 1000x by leveraging the failures, wisdoms, and experiences of others, aka building on the shoulders of giants. So again, here's another screenshot of a Facebook post from a while back. The number one thing that you can do to instantly yield positive change in your life is to change your environment. There are many tools and strategies that we can use to help us instigate positive change, but in my opinion, right at the top of the list is your environment. Think about it. We are the sum total of everything that we consume and everything that we are exposed to. That one is worth writing down. We are the sum total of everything that we consume and everything that we are exposed to. An example, the conversations that we overhear from others within our household or within our workplace that our subconscious mind picks up on every day will play a major part in developing our own outlook in life, our own worldview, our own opinions of people and things, our vocabulary, our perception of what is good, what is bad, what is right, and what is wrong. And again, we've all heard the saying that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with, or show me your friends and I'll show you your future. As kids, it was mainly parental influence that shaped our paradigm. Take a newborn baby from a Dutch family and raise it in a Japanese household. What language will that child grow up to speak fluently? And what if Tiger Woods' father decided not to raise Tiger from a very young age to be the best golfer in the world through daily, relentless physical practice drills and mental reinforcement? Who would Tiger Woods be today? Maybe you have a dream to be something or build something or create something amazing. Take a moment to assess whether the environment that you are exposed to currently on a daily basis is in direct alignment with that desired outcome or that desired result or not. The first step to change is always awareness. A few small changes to your environment can result in a massive positive change throughout all aspects of your life and business. So you can have everything else in order in life, but if your environment is out of sync with your goals, your values, your needs, your wants, your desires, your ideals, your character, and your story, well then no matter how hard you try to push forward, you're going to experience debilitating resistance and limitation. This is the equivalent of driving around with your e-brake on, or having one foot on the gas while your other foot is on the brake pedal at the same time. You'll just end up burning up a ton of energy and a ton of time trying to move forward without seeing any progress whatsoever. Similar to a high-performance race car spinning its wheels at the starting line because the driver has one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas. It just ends up destroying the car. It uses up all of its power, all of its resources, and all of its potential without experiencing any success or progress. So restructuring your environment might be something as simple as reorganizing your laptop home screen, doing a clear out of your wardrobe, limiting the time that you spend with certain people, or in my case, moving to a completely different country. So in the diagram, we can see that we have your mental environment, your physical environment, and your spiritual environment. And in the center, we have you, which is the sum total of all of these things. This creates your beliefs, your habits, your attitude, your health, your wealth, your happiness, your self-esteem, your opportunities, your reputation, and so much more. Focus. So there is an age-old saying that comparison is the thief of joy, but as an entrepreneur, comparison is the thief of progress. In horse racing, they put blinders on the horses, forcing it only to look in a forwardly direction and keeping it on track, aka eliminating all distraction. Not looking at the other horses, it is just focused on where it has to go. So in order to progress at anything, it requires focus. Blinders keep the horse's eyes focused on what's ahead rather than what is at the side or behind. To really get focused on something, we need to eliminate all distraction. Stop looking at what others are doing. You might see other people who are making millions selling stuff online and think that you need to start doing that. Or you might see somebody else making millions doing forex trading and think that you need to start doing that. As entrepreneurs, it is in our DNA to be curious, but we also need to know when to stay in our lane. Different courses for different horses. Real estate investing, Bitcoin, e-commerce, forex may not be your thing, even though others may be massively successful by utilizing one of those vehicles. Firstly, is the grass really greener on the other side? Perception is not always reality. And secondly, if there is already somebody else in the industry that you've chosen that is massively successful and is getting the level of results that you desire, well then that just proves to you that the issue is not with the industry that you're in or the vehicle that you're using. The issue is down to you, your outlook and your mindset. So stop getting distracted by what other people are doing. Your goal should be to go a mile deep and an inch wide instead of going a mile wide and an inch deep. So yes, the grass is not always greener on the other side. The reality is that the grass is greener where you water it. Many entrepreneurs never succeed because they lack this one key trait, which is focus. The key to success is to focus on the few and not the many. Stop trying to build 4 different businesses to 100 million a year at the same time. Pick one, grow to 100 million first, then move on to the next. Like I've said, the idea is to go an inch wide and a mile deep rather than a mile wide and an inch deep. 2 great books on this are Essentialism and The One Thing. Again, guys, the grass is never greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. Stop looking at what other people have and focus on improving your own situation. Mind your own business as such. Jealousy, comparison, and resentment are traits of the weak. Delegation and automation. So we've already spoken quite a bit about delegation at the start of this training, and it is absolutely essential to master the art of delegation. So leveraging other people's time and skill sets, and then automation, leveraging systems in order to maximize your potential as an entrepreneur. Delegation and automation allow you to create more time, more opportunity, more money, more value, and more impact. So delegation, instead of doing it all yourself, think who, not how, like I've said already. You should only be focused on investing your time and your energy on high-level RGAs. Effective entrepreneurs strategically create more time and more energy through delegation and automation so that they can focus on the macro instead of the micro. First, you need to determine what your most valuable attributes are as an entrepreneur and delegate the rest. Just because you can do something does not mean you should. Many entrepreneurs waste a lot of time doing things that could and should be delegated. Things like building their website, bookkeeping, managing their social media accounts, creating content and advertising material, cooking, cleaning, cutting their own grass, managing multiple email accounts, editing their own videos, and so on. And you may have heard of decision fatigue. So famously, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, and Steve Jobs, the former CEO of Apple, famously wear the same clothes every day so that they don't use up any mental bandwidth trying to decide what clothes to wear each morning. That decision is already made for them. They have automated that decision as such. And the reality is that you have a finite amount of energy available to you each day. And the more that you can eliminate, automate, and delegate these little decisions, the more energy and mental bandwidth you will have to focus on the important stuff, the macro. How to spend and invest your time. So most people are overly cautious when it comes to how they spend and invest their money, and they're overly reckless when it comes to how they spend and invest their time. But the reality is that there is an unlimited supply of money. We can always create more money, whereas we only have a very limited supply of time. You need to be a lot more careful with how you spend and invest your time, more so than how you spend and invest your money. How we spend and invest our time will determine our results in life. If you spend 7 hours a week at the gym, the result will be a lean, fit, muscular body. If you spend 7 hours a week drinking alcohol and eating pizza, the result will be an unhealthy, out-of-shape, disease-riddled body and mind. If you spend 7 hours a week reading great books, doing your self-alchemy, and working with your coach, for example, the results will be progress, achievement, and success. If you spend 7 hours a week on the phone to your brother or your sister or your friend just gossiping about others and scrolling through social media endlessly, the result will be a life of poverty, depression, and anxiety. Garbage in, garbage out. So be a producer on social media, not a consumer. Create content, don't consume content. And better again, have your team create it for you. So you do not need to speak to your loved ones every single day or see them every single day. Once a week will suffice, or even once a month. So don't just spend your time with random people out of habit just because you can't say no to them. Only allow activities that are directly aligned with your goals to occupy space in your calendar. If you allow random people to take up too much of your time, you will not have enough time to work towards achieving your goals, and ultimately both you and your loved ones will suffer the consequences. Develop the habit of planning your days, your weeks, and your months ahead. Be relentlessly strategic with the activities that occupy space in your calendar. Any activity that is not 100% in direct alignment with your end goal, say no. Too many people fall victim to the yes disease. They want everybody to like them. They want to please everybody. They fear not being liked. These are also the same people who give in to selling their products and their services for less than what they are worth because they cannot say no. They would rather say yes just to get a sale instead of sticking to their guns and charging their price. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to get comfortable saying no. You need to learn how to prioritize your time and activity. Again, guys, this is basic stuff, but it's overlooked by so many entrepreneurs. When people pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for high-performance coaches, the majority of the time on these coaching calls is spent mastering the principles, the basic stuff that most people neglect. How to be a better decision maker, how to be a better problem solver, how to manage your time better, how to be more productive, more efficient, how to get better at delegation, automation, how to improve your self-image, and so on. The advice that you will often hear from billionaires is about dialing in on the basics, the principles, the foundations, and the building blocks of success. If you neglect to master the core foundational principles of success, then you'll never have the ability to reach your full potential as an entrepreneur. High-performance entrepreneurs understand that in order to achieve more, we need to do less. Less distractions, less clutter, less chaos. When we can reduce the distractions, the clutter, the chaos, and the noise, we can ultimately create more time, more quiet, more space, more clarity, more bandwidth, and be more creative. Billionaires are usually very isolated. They are hard to contact, and this is not for any reason other than they understand the value of their finite time. They know how to spend it wisely. Even people in their close circles, some form of gatekeeper. As the saying goes, it's lonely at the top. And this is very true. But to look at the other end of the spectrum, misery loves company. So you don't find the time, you make the time. You can either have excuses or results, but not both. The issue is not that you are too busy. The real issue is that you are not serious about it. You are not committed. You are only interested. Do you think that Tiger Woods would miss a practice session because he was too busy with other activities that were not directly aligned with his end goal? Of course not. That's why Tiger Woods is successful. He made golf practice his priority because that was the main activity that he needed to do every day, which was directly aligned to his end goal. For you, it might be sitting down at your laptop with your phone off and doing 2 hours of deep work. Or it might be making a list of 60 prospects that you need to call and locking yourself into the room until you've completed that list. Or it might be getting up at 5 a.m. to hit the gym before the kids wake up. Whatever your goal is, you need to be committed, you need to make the time. You can either have excuses or results, but you cannot have both. Let's talk about discipline. So discipline is simply the practice of doing the thing even if and when it is hard. Weak people do the opposite. Weak people religiously do the wrong things just because it's easy. They follow the path that's more followed, the path of least resistance, which ultimately leads you to the same destination as the masses. Successful entrepreneurs religiously oppose the masses. Discipline requires emotional control. It also requires courage, sacrifice, commitment, and self-esteem. So going back to when I was a kid, I would play the game Crash Bandicoot. Similar to Super Mario, who gained more power by getting a mushroom. In Crash Bandicoot, he would often come across these random boxes that would usually give him more life, more energy, and more power. And in life, these boxes and these mushrooms can be likened to inspiration and motivation. They give you enough of a short-term boost to get you started. They give you more power, more energy, and more focus. But they soon run out, and you're left to rely on discipline to take you to the next level. So even a lazy slob with zero ambitions or drive will stumble across the odd burst of motivation and inspiration throughout the course of their life. But this is short-lived, because as soon as that motivation or that inspiration runs dry, they fall straight back into their old ways because they lack discipline. This is when the shiny object syndrome kicks in. People get inspired, they get motivated to do something or try something. But as soon as that motivation runs dry, they lose interest because they lack discipline. And so they start looking around them for easier ways, for easier opportunities. Those who have discipline succeed because they go a mile deep and an inch wide. Making time for play. So all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. As entrepreneurs, it can be very easy for us to get caught up in the daily grind, putting in 12, 15-hour days, working on our business and working on ourselves. But scheduling in some time to play is super important because it allows our creative juices to flow more abundantly. And as a result, we will be more inspired, more productive. We will come up with better ideas, better solutions, and ultimately become a better entrepreneur. The name Winston Churchill comes to mind. Aside from his massively successful career where he successfully led his country through a war, created 500 works of art, won a Nobel Prize in literature, and wrote 43 books, Winston always prioritized time to switch off and allow his creative juices to flow. He is famous for his love of the Cuban cigar, which he even had a type of Cuban cigar named after him. And he would regularly take long baths, sometimes 2 a day. He would go outside and build with bricks and cement, as he found that activity therapeutic, sometimes laying dozens, even hundreds of blocks at a time. He would spend time creating paintings of landscapes, as he also found this process therapeutic as well. Winston was not partaking in these activities for any reason other than the fact that it gave him a tremendous sense of joy, fulfillment, and an opportunity in the day to completely switch off from his busy agenda and to get his creative juices flowing. So if Winston had never prioritized this time to play throughout the course of his life and throughout the course of his career, do you think he would have been as successful as he was? Would he have achieved everything that he achieved? Successfully leading his country through a war, creating 500 works of art, winning a Nobel Prize in literature, and writing 43 books. Some people like to chop up logs with an axe, others like to go to a spa and get a massage. Some go skiing, others ride motorcycles, others like to hike mountains. What do you do to unwind, and what do you do to get your creative juices flowing? I am also a big fan of premium cigars. I also enjoy relaxing in the spa, playing golf, driving my cars, riding my motorcycles, and playing music. I was actually a full-time musician for many years in a previous life before embarking on my journey as an entrepreneur. So make a point right now to schedule in some time for you this week to play. Treat yourself to something you enjoy doing, and I guarantee you that you will see a positive ROI as a result. You will return to your work feeling more energized, inspired, motivated, and bursting with energy and enthusiasm. A quick reality check. I used to get stressed out and overwhelmed looking at other entrepreneurs who seem to have these unnatural entrepreneurial superpowers. The fruits of our labor as an entrepreneur can be extremely rewarding, but not enough entrepreneurs share the real stuff, what it really takes on a daily basis to develop the qualities of a distinguished entrepreneur and to achieve our goals. Lots of gurus who share content online or sell online courses will tell you what you need to do to succeed, but they neglect to show you how to implement it for your unique situation. So many entrepreneurs are trying to convince you that all you need is this funnel or this course or this one secret or this one business model, and then you will be able to generate 300,000 a month in less than 90 days, and all kinds of other such nonsense. There is just so much bad information out there today from clever marketers trying to play on your emotions just to make a sale. Unfortunately, most of them do not care about you or your situation or your results. This is not to say that there are not good people out there with genuine value to offer them. There absolutely is. I have invested a lot of money into training programs, mentors and coaches over the years. Some were absolutely life-changing and really helped me to completely transform my business and earn millions as a result, whereas others were a complete waste of time, money and energy. Although a lot of gurus online today try to glamorize entrepreneurship, the reality is that entrepreneurship is not all glamour and smooth sailing. But contrary to popular belief, you do not need to become some sort of superhuman robot or have the discipline of a Shaolin monk in order to be successful. You can do it your way. As long as you master the principles, you will get to the top. So stop comparing your level 3 to somebody else's level 60. I have been that guy who could not drag himself out of bed for days, weeks, even months on end, suffering with depression, anxiety, abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, binge eating, turning into a zombie from endless hours of consuming crap content on social media, staying awake all night, sleeping until noon. But I was able to turn myself around and build an amazing life full of prosperity, joy, success, wealth, love, and happiness, and you can too. The reason I created the Distinguished Entrepreneur Program in the first place is because I myself have been deep in the trenches. I have struggled and suffered and been beaten down time and time again, and I know just how that feels. But in spite of it all, I still came out on top, and you can too. So go easy on yourself. If you don't already have what you want in life or business just yet, don't beat yourself up over it. Give yourself a pat on the back because you have good intentions. The fact that you are watching this training today and you are still here on the training at this stage says a lot about your character. You have more focus, commitment, and potential than most others. So stop dwelling on your current lack of results and instead focus your energy on your end goal. First principles and second order issues. So let me explain this by using an example. Let's say your partner starts driving a car for the first time. Every time he or she drives the car, they crash it. So your solution is to take the car to the shop each time and pay to have it fixed. The very next day, they take it out again and they crash the car again. Now, if all you do to solve this problem is to take the car back to the shop each time to fix it, you're not really solving the core issue. To solve the problem for good, you need to get your partner some driving lessons so that they learn how to drive properly and, as a result, stop crashing the car. A simple solution to a big problem. You only have to solve this core problem once, and you're going to save a ton of money and time in the long run. So fixing the damaged car each time is focusing on a second order issue. No matter how much time, money, or energy that you invest trying to fix this second order issue, you will never solve the problem and the situation will never change. If you want lasting change, you need to focus on the root cause of your problems, aka first principles. Many entrepreneurs burn up unhealthy amounts of time, money, and energy dealing with second order issues and ignoring the first principles. They end up chasing their tails, running around in circles year after year with the same old problem, getting the same old results. Maybe you can relate to this example with your business. Every time you get things back on track, you're hit with another similar issue that costs you more time, more money, and more energy. So in order to yield lasting positive change, you need to focus on first principles. Maybe you struggle with low energy, poor health, headaches, and you try to solve these problems by taking pills every day. But have you assessed your diet or your sleep quality? This is just an example, but if your sleep is off, it can cause all kinds of second order issues. A lack of proper quality sleep can literally change your whole being. You will literally become a different person without proper sleep, and I guarantee that you will not like that person. Your business issues are often second order issues that stem from first order personal problems, aka you, the entrepreneur. Again, every business is a reflection of the entrepreneur. Identity, reputation, and legacy. So the story that you tell yourself about yourself and ultimately what you believe to be true about yourself, this is your identity. Your identity will determine your values, your actions, your habits, your network, your self-esteem, your financial situation, what you settle for in life, and what you get in life. In order to change your results in life, you will first need to change your identity. If your goal is to build a 9-figure empire, but your identity, i.e. your self-beliefs and your paradigm, is more aligned with someone who only 6 figures, well then you'll never achieve the goal of building that 9-figure empire. Your biggest limitation is always going to be you. While a big part of change and achievement is to acquire new information, that's 20% of what matters. The 80% is changing your identity to be in direct alignment with your desired result. A lot of people will change their environment to help them evolve their identity. For me, moving from the Midlands of Ireland to downtown Dubai helped me to evolve my identity as a successful entrepreneur with a lot less resistance. In Dubai, I am surrounded by affluence, prosperity, ambition, Success and open-minded people who pursue the entrepreneurial lifestyle. Over here, I am a small fish in a big bowl as such, but this motivates me to evolve and grow at an accelerated rate. It also offers me a lot more opportunity. So once you've established a positive environment that enables you to evolve your identity with less resistance, you will then notice that every time you visit an old environment, it can cause a lot of anxiety and friction. This is because the people in your old environment only know you for who you used to be, but not who you have become and who you are becoming. And they will often find that change in your character uncomfortable. They may even judge you or laugh at you, but this is just a reflection of who they are and the caliber of their character. It is nothing to do with you. So make sure that you are spending all of your time in an environment that supports your identity and ultimately supports your goals. Spending too much time in an environment where the majority of people only know the old you or who you were before and not who you are today, this will drag you down. Similar to a drug addict who finally gets clean. Oftentimes when they revisit their old circle of friends who still use drugs, that environment ends up causing them to reuse again. So like it or not, we all have a reputation, but the good news is that you are 100% in control of it. Your reputation is people's perception of you, so you are the creator of your reputation. A poor reputation will massively limit your opportunities in life and business. Your reputation will make or break you and play a major role in determining what you get in life and business. Most people plod along through life following the path of least resistance and leaving their reputation to be determined by pure chance. They are completely oblivious to what's going on and the impact that all of their actions has on their reputation. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you will need to establish your reputation as a successful entrepreneur. If people don't see you as credible, respectful, competent, intelligent, and confident, they will be less inclined to do business with you, your customers, your investors, your partners, and so on. And then we have your legacy. This is what people will remember you for. The only part of you that lives forever is your legacy. What do you want to be remembered for or be remembered as? Do you just want to be remembered as the person who made a ton of money and spent it all selfishly? Or do you want to be remembered for helping others along the way through your actions, your businesses, your products, your services, aka your value? So as well as building my own empire, I want to be remembered for changing the lives of other entrepreneurs too. I want that to be my legacy. So it is for this exact reason that I founded the Distinguished Entrepreneur Program. If I were to just focus on selfish goals alone, I would just continue building my businesses and never really share any wisdom with others or try and help anybody to build their empire. Building my businesses is lots of fun for me, and yes, it makes me lots of money. But working with people inside of the Distinguished Entrepreneur Program, seeing their success and their progress and their evolution gives me a strong sense of fulfillment and joy. So you'll often see people who are financially successful that decide to spend a lot more time helping others because it gives them a greater sense of fulfillment in life. So success is not all about the money. You could be financially successful, but you could be depressed in other areas of your life. So it is important that you have that sense of fulfillment, happiness, and joy, as well as financial success. So let's talk credibility, the quality of being trusted and believed in. Credibility is a big part of establishing your reputation. Credibility is just as important for businesses as it is for individuals. Companies with a higher level of credibility do better in the game of business. Individuals with a higher level of credibility do better in the game of life. So how do we establish a high level of credibility? So we can establish credibility through reputation. When you develop the reputation as somebody who can be trusted, someone who is competent at what they do, someone who is reliable, professional, someone who is widely respected, and so on. All of this plays a part in establishing a high level of credibility. Then we have credibility through association. Having other credible people in your circle or on your team and being associated with other credible individuals, businesses, and brands all plays a part in establishing a high level of credibility. And lastly, we have credibility through achievement. So having achieved something worthwhile. Example, let's say you are a marketer, for example. New potential customers will see you as more credible if you have a lot of satisfied customer testimonials who you have helped to achieve successful results in the past. The higher your credibility rating, the more people will trust you. And the more people trust you, the more fruitful opportunities open up to you. So exposure is key. You cannot build a powerful reputation by sitting at home with the curtains pulled while nobody knows anything about you. You need to put yourself out there and scream it from the rooftops. Start planting the seeds of your reputation. Update your social media bios, your website. Start dressing, talking, and acting in alignment with your new identity. Start playing the part of the life that you want to live and the reputation that you want to establish. Start a YouTube channel, go to different events, do whatever you need to do to put yourself out there. Once you develop the ability to portray your credibility effectively, people will see you as a strong, figure of authority. And a great book on all of this is The Key Person of Influence. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Listen to your gut instinct. It's usually right. Fear is just false evidence appearing real. The only way to grow is by getting out of your comfort zone. Take a leap of faith. Make discomfort your new comfort zone. Burn your ships and push forward with all that you have until you have achieved your desired outcome. Consistency. So the people who stick to something long enough always win. They develop an almost supernatural power at what they do. You'll see people in every industry who, through the power of consistency, have achieved amazing success. Like a drop of water consistently falling on the same point of a rock year after year. In the days you can't notice any progress, but after many years of that little drop consistently hitting at the same spot, it eventually makes a dent in the rock and ultimately breaks through the rock after time. That is the power of consistency. So you are the center of gravity when it comes to your business and your empire. So in the diagram on the left, you'll see a red line. Inside of this red circle is everything internal. These are the things that you have control over. Outside of the red circle is everything external. These are the things that you do not have control over. So in the very center, we can see an orange circle, and this represents you. You are the most important factor of your business. So the success of a business is directly proportionate to the caliber of the entrepreneur. Your quality of character is reflected onto all aspects of your business. So keep it sharp. Every business is an extension of the entrepreneur. Your personal qualities will have a ripple effect throughout the entire organization. An example of this, if you were to suddenly decide to start drinking 2 liters of whiskey every single morning, that will have a massive impact on you and ultimately have a massive impact on your business too. So you have control over you. Then we have the green circle. This is your staff, your team, and your employees, the people within your business. These are the people who run your business, manage your systems, and so on. Great people are key to building a great business. You have control over the people you hire to run your business. Then in the blue section, we have your systems, operations, processes, tools, resources, strategies, products, and services, and so on. Great systems are key to building a great business, and you have control over these systems and strategies. Lastly, in the yellow area, we have the external factors. So the economy, competitors, culture, trends, pandemics, wars, and so on. These are all of the things that you do not have control over. What is your money mindset? So a scarcity money mindset is what most people have. These people say things like, I cannot afford it, or if I stop getting Starbucks every day and I cook my own meals 3 times a day, I can save an extra $1,500 a year. Whereas an abundance money mindset is the mindset of most entrepreneurs. These people say things like, how can I get, create, or find the money to afford it? Or if I go to Starbucks every day, it will give me the opportunity to network with new people, which may open up new doors and new opportunities for me. And by ordering my meals from a food prep company that deliver fresh food to my door each week, I will have an extra 10 hours every week to focus on making sales calls or building my business, focusing on high-level revenue-generating activities, which has the potential to make me an extra 6, 7, even 8 figures a year. So let's look at good debt versus bad debt. Bad debt is using debt to buy liabilities, so cars and holidays and such. Good debt is leveraging debt to buy assets that cash flow and increase in value over time. So buying businesses, investing in real estate, and so on. Things that make you money or earn you money. When using good debt to buy assets, a simple rule of thumb is this. Available cash flow must always cover debt service. If you buy a business, for example, make sure that there is enough net profit to cover the debt service that you have leveraged to acquire that business. Or if you buy an investment property, make sure that the rent or the cash flow minus expenses covers the debt services that you have leveraged to acquire that property. So never spend all of your earned income. Set aside a percentage of your weekly or monthly wage for your investment fund. 10% is the minimum you should be keeping. But in my opinion, that money should be set aside and invested, not just left to sit in a savings account. Put your money to work to generate more money. In an ideal situation, you will set your goal to never spend your earned income. Instead, you use your earned income to acquire more assets that cash flow, and then use the cash flow from your assets to buy the things that you want, while reinvesting a percentage of that passive cash flow back into acquiring more assets to compound your results, aka the compound effect. Where do you get your information and advice from? Stop discussing your ideas with the wrong people and stop asking for advice from people who cannot help you. mainly your friends who have no experience in that area. Only seek advice from those who have the knowledge and experience to actually help you. The wrong people will give you the wrong advice because A, they do not have the necessary or required knowledge and experience to properly advise you, and B, most of them will only tell you what you want to hear and not what you need to hear. The right people have the knowledge and experience that you are seeking, and they will tell you what you need to hear. The best advice that I have ever received in my life was from my business mentors who told me what I needed to hear and not what I wanted to hear. In most cases, this advice left me feeling a little rattled, insulted, and annoyed because often what we need to hear, aka the truth, it is hard to take. Most people will say things like, oh, you're doing great, just because they know that that's what you want to hear, and as a result, you will like them more because they're telling you these nice things. But a true mentor cares more about making sure that you get results and achieving your goals, and they care less about saying nice things to you or whether you like them or not. So having the right mentors, the right coaches, and the right advisors will enable you to see around corners as such. Their experience and their wisdom can help you foresee potential future issues and help you to steer clear of problems and setbacks that can easily be avoided. This puts you on the fast lane to success, and it applies to everything that you set out to achieve, from building a business to building your body and so on. It essentially gives you an unfair advantage over everybody else. So stop taking advice from the wrong people. Everybody likes to give you their 2 cents, and everybody has an opinion or a hypothesis. If you want to succeed at something for sure, you need to be operating with the facts only. When somebody gives you advice, no matter who they are, even me, make sure to do your own due diligence that the advice and the information is credible by assessing their results and digging out the facts. Do your own research before making any decisions. A common trait of a distinguished entrepreneur is the ability to effectively process data, to seek out the facts in everything, to make good decisions based on the facts only. Here's an example. Let's say a friend tells you about their salesman buddy who works a full day every Saturday, but he never sells a single car on a Saturday. Are they a good salesman? Most people will say no, they are not a good salesman because they never sell a car on a Saturday, even though they work a full day. But we know we must uncover the facts before making a final decision. So you need to ask questions like, is your friend telling the truth? Is this fact? How credible is their information? And maybe after some investigation, you find out that on Saturdays, this salesman spends all day preparing for the week ahead. And as a result, he sells more cars than any of his colleagues on the weekdays. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're slow to make decisions, or if you're disorganized in one area of your life, you're probably like that in everything that you do. By developing the habit of getting organized with one thing, that might be organizing your office, for example, that trait will spread across everything that you do. If you take forever to make a decision about where to eat, and then when you get there you spend an hour trying to decide what to eat, the odds are that you are like this with every decision that you make in life and in business. So develop the habit of making quick decisions with the small things in life, like where and what to eat, and use your gut instinct. You'll soon develop the trait of making fast and firm decisions on the bigger things too, which will reduce decision fatigue. If you're afraid to ask the guy or the girl out, you're probably afraid to ask for the sale. If you don't give your workouts 100% in the gym, probably don't give your business 100%. If you start to read books with great enthusiasm but you never finish them, you probably start many things with great enthusiasm but never finish them. If your car is always messy, your life, your business, your office, and your mind is probably always messy too. So if you don't get on top of things, things will get on top of you. Very quickly, let's talk about meditation. So don't question it, just do it. You're not too cool for it. It's not just for hippies, yogis, and monks. If you are serious about evolving into a better version of yourself, then daily meditation will dramatically accelerate your growth. No need for silly apps or gadgets. Simply find a quiet room, a comfortable spot, turn off the phone, sit there for 20 minutes and eliminate all distractions. Keep a pen and paper nearby because you're going to get some really good ideas and really good insights while you're meditating. And this is often when you're going to get your best insights. 3 types of meditation that I use, that I recommend. First one is strategic problem solving meditation. So if you have a problem that you're struggling with at the moment, sit down in a quiet room, turn off the phone, set the timer for 20 minutes, and just sit with that problem, focusing on your breath. Keep the topic of the issue at the back of your mind and let all thoughts and ideas just flow through. Some thoughts and ideas will be completely irrelevant, but eventually you will begin to receive great ideas and solutions and answers to your questions and problems. You might solve them in the first 5 minutes of a meditation session. Other times it might take several days or even several weeks, depending on what it is that you're dealing with. But you will always get your best ideas and answers through meditation.
Secondly, we have what I call recalibration meditation. So if you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, or just generally burnt out, sit down in a quiet room, again, turn the phone off, set the timer for 20 minutes, and just focus on your breath. Every time a thought comes through your mind, use that as a trigger to go back to focusing on your breath and let those thoughts pass. Distraction is completely normal. By times, you might even fall asleep while meditating and you will wake up feeling completely refreshed. And then lastly, it says number 4, which should be number 3, is healing meditation. Anything from a headache to an illness can be eased and the healing process accelerated dramatically through meditation. One strategy is to imagine a gold neon-colored light going from head to toe, healing every muscle and every part of your body. Start at the top of your body and visualize that healing light moving slowly down through your body, giving you a sense of powerful healing energy and well-being. You can also visualize that every inhale you take in fresh energy, and you can give that breath a color. And then with every exhale, you are getting rid of all the toxins and the negative energy in your body. And again, you can give that a different color. So daily meditation practice is also a fantastic way to develop your discipline muscle. When you develop the discipline to follow through on doing everything that you say you will do, you will see your confidence increase because you know that you are a man or a woman of your word and that you are a serious operator who is deserving of great success. You are committed. You are not just interested. Very briefly, let's talk about exercise. So you'll never reach your full potential as an entrepreneur if you neglect your physical health. You will not be able to give your business or your goals your best. For me, exercise is just as important for my mental health as it is for my physical health. Running is a great way to help you realize that you can always do more than you think you can. The mind will always give up before your potential, whether that's physical or mental or emotional, whatever it is. Running is also a great discipline. The practice of going for a run when you say you will and pushing yourself a little more each time physically and mentally will help you develop the habit of discipline in all areas of your life. And again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you work out, you will look better and you will feel better. And when you feel better, you will have more confidence. And with more confidence, you will achieve more. Never judge others. So how you judge others and how you treat others is an outward projection of your inner self-esteem and your quality of character. Do you find the positive in others and praise their efforts? Or do you look for their imperfections and their weaknesses and put them down, gossip about them and spread rumors? Stop judging others. Eliminate traits like jealousy from your character and your identity. And instead only focus on putting out positive energy and positive vibes to the world. The energy and the vibes that you put out will determine what you get back. The comfort zone. The greatest enemy of achievement, growth, and success is the comfort zone. Your comfort zone is not fixed. It expands as you grow. Once you continue to push yourself into the discomfort zone, you will eventually adapt, and that will become your new comfort zone. The key to growth is to never stop pushing the boundaries of your comfort zone. Moving to Dubai was a major leap out of my comfort zone. I had to sell my beloved Range Rover back in Ireland. I had to establish a new network. I had to learn new business structure laws, leave my family halfway across the world, and so on. But we must be willing to let go of the good in order to achieve the great. So we have many pillars that we depend on to create successful lives and successful businesses. Everything is interconnected. If one pillar collapses, it will have a knock-on effect on all other areas of our lives and our business. For example, if your personal relationship with your spouse is toxic, this will absolutely impact your happiness, decision-making abilities, drain your creative and positive energy, lower your self-esteem, affect how efficiently you can organize and prioritize, weaken your leadership abilities, negatively impact your ability to think clearly, and negatively impact your bank account, and so much more. One rotten apple can spoil the entire basket. So here on the screen you can see a diagram. The top diagram is the ideal situation. So all aspects of your life and business are directly aligned with your desires and your goals. Everything is working together in complete harmony. The second diagram shows a major dip because everything is interconnected. The weakest link will drag everything else down along with it. Until you address the thing that is causing the issue, and until you solve that, everything else will suffer as a result. And it's important to understand that it is unlikely that everything will always be perfect all of the time. That is never the case, and that's just the fact of life. There will always be problems that need to be solved and areas of our lives and business that will take a dip from time to time. And hopefully, as a result of this training, you will be better able to identify, navigate, manage, and solve these issues if and when they do arise. So, in summary, 80% of your success is down to you. Success does not happen to you, success happens because of you. And the success of a business is directly proportionate to the caliber of the entrepreneur. So in every industry, you will see people who are absolutely crushing it and others who are getting crushed. They are often selling the same product or selling the same service to the same market in the same locations at the same price with access to the same resources, but they are getting two completely different results. In order to grow and evolve, you need to be open-minded, you need to acquire new and better information, you need to seek help from the right people and be comfortable asking for help when you need it, not just always pretending to be the big shot in the room all of the time. If you want to achieve big things, you'll have to leave your ego at the door. Success tax. Nothing worthwhile in life is easy or free. There is always a price to be paid. There will always be a sacrifice. So in order to be successful at anything, you need to pay your success tax. That might be working out, it might be learning new information, it might be developing new skills, it might be making difficult phone calls or going to meetings or whatever that might be. It could be waking up at 5 o'clock to work on your business while everybody's asleep. It might be missing out on drinks at the weekend with your friends to study or work, or it might be going to the gym 5 days a week. So the difference between what we say and what we do will make or break us. Most people are talkers, few people are walkers. Talkers say things like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, but they never do it. Walkers get things done and they let the results do the talking. The difference between saying you will do something and actually doing it is accountability. A lack of accountability results in a lack of action, resulting in a lack of results, low self-esteem, and creates a snowball effect of failure. Many people hire a coach to hold them accountable, just as I do for my clients. It is an industry standard that sport athletes have coaches and trainers to help them grow, to evolve, to support them and help them see around corners and ultimately move forwards faster towards their goals. Athletes also religiously go to the gym to train their body in preparation for game day, so they are fully prepared at their highest potential. Yet, how many entrepreneurs have coaches or invest time religiously to sharpen the saw so that they are always prepared and operating at their highest potential? High-performance entrepreneurs all have somebody to hold them accountable and guide them in the right direction. They all have coaches to help them see around corners and to help them accelerate faster towards their goals. You get one roll of the dice in this life. Time waits for nobody. We never know how much time we have left or what's around the corner. Success takes time, but there is a fast lane. With the right help, the right support, the right knowledge, information, strategies, mindset, and accountability, you can accelerate your progress and ultimately achieve more with less resistance. So guys, I had about 20 more slides done up on self-alchemy alone for today's training, but if this training goes on any longer, my fear is that people will just get distracted by other commitments. It's already gone on for quite a while at this stage. So for that reason, I'm going to bring this training to an end in the next couple of minutes. But firstly, I want to offer you the option to speak with me one-on-one to discuss your individual situation. So the one-on-one strategy sessions that I offer are completely free, but not everybody will be accepted. And I do only allocate a limited amount of time slots for these sessions each month. So if you are interested in speaking with me one-on-one, then you will find a button below this training to apply for your free strategy session. So very quickly, as promised at the start of today's training, I'm going to let you hear from some of the business owners and entrepreneurs that I have worked with and some of the results that they have achieved.
Number one, the biggest thing that I can say, guys, is that Shane's mindset is very unparalleled. By unparalleled, I mean he is driven, he is ambitious, and it hits you like a brick of walls for motivation.
There was points in it when I went, wow, I wish I knew this years ago. Even without being in business, I would have done business management in college, but it was never show you what you showed me.
I'd just like to take a second to say thank you to Shane Hines. Really what he's all about. It's about skilling and growing, and what that process looks like in a way that it comes across very clear, and there's just a lot of value, a lot of techniques.
Before I joined, we were doing okay, but just okay. Since I started doing the course, we've actually brought in, I'd say, triple the amount of customers that we've had up to about 2 years ago.
It's opened our eyes in a more positive way, Shane. We're more positive about business, I think.
Yeah, we were stuck in the past, Shane. I suppose it opened my eyes hugely. I learned a lot from it.
And that was the number one thing that I took away from that, is that it wasn't just someone providing me knowledge. It was someone that's saying, like, this is how you need to get things done to get success. And sometimes we do require to have that person to tell us straight up, what's it going to take to have that level of success that we all seek.
It has definitely helped me manage my time a bit better. It has fine-tuned a lot of the behind-the-scenes work, really, you know. So it has definitely been worth my while.
I wanted to do this testimonial video for Shane. Definitely something I can highly recommend. I don't recommend people very easily because I find run your own business, you come across an awful lot of people trying to sell you stuff who don't know what they're doing. And so I'm a former journalist, so I'm very skeptical of everything. And I'm very tough on people that we work with. But I have to say, Shane really knows what he's doing when it comes to this stuff. I kind of realised that straight away. He's not a BS artist. He knows what he's doing. He hasn't even asked me to do this, but he's a great guy, and I recommend him.
My business has increased twofold, threefold. Shane is very professional, always available.
It has really benefited us in all aspects of our own life and our business life.
Not only was much more beneficial for me workload-wise, but it was much more beneficial for my business. People are extremely serious to have a great kickstart to their businesses, or even the people that have been in business. If they see that their success level has been fluctuating in and out, they are most likely not zeroing in the targets that they need to zero in. So I highly recommend.
I have to say now, it really has brought us on leaps and bounds. We brought in a hell of a lot more business.
Change is very uncomfortable, and we probably would have found that, but yet you have to push through it. And we've made a few changes.
It's all to do with the mindset. Yeah, the mindset. Sometimes just keep doing what we're doing and it'll work out someday, but usually it doesn't. So we have to change. We have to change the time.
I highly recommend this for anybody who's starting a business. The tips that you learn from him, the value that you get, really just been amazing for me, and I highly recommend it for anybody else who is trying to start a successful business.
Without you, we wouldn't have been in this position. We actually feel more established now than what we ever did before. It's phenomenal, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. We'd be a good bit more expensive than what we are, because as I said to you, we're now in a position to pick and choose, where we were kind of all, basically we're fighting for the leftovers, really.
We have to do what's best for us as a business and what's best for us as a family. We've 3 small kids. We've 3 kids under 7, and just what was going on here last year, say early last year and the year before, it was crazy. Whereas it's so much more settled now. We felt a little bit lost until we came on board with you. For me personally, and I think Alan feels the same, it was probably the best money that we spent.
Definitely, I wouldn't even question it. I'd say go ahead, do it, well worth it.
My name is Barry. Over the past year, I've been trying to expand my business by learning about different marketing techniques, different sales techniques, this, that and the other, and I got nowhere really. Past couple of months I've been trying to get someone on board to help me take my business to the next step, and in all that time, over the past year looking into it myself, over the past couple of months of speaking to different marketing agencies, one 20-minute phone call with Shane was worth more to me than all of that put together. Shane recognised that yes, I probably do have the skills to do it myself, but I didn't have the knowledge to bridge the gap between getting from point A to point B. Shane got that straight away and explained to me exactly how I get from this point to this point, and gave me a proper full action plan of how to go about doing it, which is exactly what I needed, to tell me exactly what I should be doing in order to grow and scale the business. No one could tell me that. Shane, in 20 minutes, as I said, told me that like that. Shane's input has been absolutely invaluable. I've already seen massive changes in my business, and we're away to start a new spell of like an expansion, and I've got the utmost of confidence in every single thing that Shane says to me and advises me to do. I can't recommend him enough. As I said, he's been an absolute godsend to me and to my business. So I only wish that I'd come across. I'd only wish I'd spoken to him a year ago.